Hello, 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 everyone. I'm gonna give everyone some time to get in here. It's Fun Day Monday. The months are just rolling by with us together, isn't it? I like it better this way. I like it better this way. Before it was like, oh, time's dragging on and on. But giving you something to look forward to on a Monday is starting to be like, oh, it's already Monday. Is it just me? Is it just me? Okay. Anyway, so let me just put this disclaimer out here right now. Again, with the rain today. Okay. If you hear some rumbling and rumbling and loud booms and bangs and stuff, it's not coming from me. It's not coming from me. As you can see, I'm sitting right next to a window and it is open. So you're going to be hearing some thundering and lightning and stuff like that flashing. And if we go offline, again, that's not me. It's not my fault. So I just want to put that out there so no one thinks, oh, something happened. She over there lighting it up. She gonna go viral sitting on this live stream, passing gas like that. It's not me. It's not me. I'm sitting by the window and it's open and it is lightning and thundering and everything. So if the broadcast ends abruptly, you know what it is. If it slows down or gets frozen or whatever, you know what it is. Um, so I want everyone to be aware as everybody starts to come on in to join the broadcast today. I want you to be aware that there's inclement weather and the system might go down, but it'll be a recording, so you won't miss anything if you're trying to see it on. And then you skip that part where it froze a little bit. That's the best thing about recordings. You can fast forward and watch the whole thing on fast forward. I look and sound even crazier when you put it on fast forward, but it's funnier. It's funnier. Hey, Sean Anthony, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Stick with us. Stick with us. Let's see if we can get through this without hearing lightning and thundering and without getting shut out. While everybody's getting in here, I want to say, my little sister, right? Last week I was talking about my dad. It finished because there were a lot of comments coming in, and I had to address it and got off my topic using my father as an example. But I'm gonna get back to that. But since people are still coming in, I want to tell you this thing about my sister. So, hey Tim, how you doing? So my sister, she would always scheming, trying to get some new stuff out of me, right? So every time I would visit her house, she would always say, "Oh, you broke something. Something was broken." I'm like, "I didn't break anything. It was working the last time I had it." And then I'll tell her, it was probably already broke before I got here. What are you talking about? Hey, it got so bad that I could pull up to the driveway, right? And just on the driveway saying hi, and she'll be like, "See, already my whole living room said not acting right now." I'm like, we're in the driveway. What are you talking about?" And she'll say things like, "Oh, see, the entire door needs to be replaced now. Y'all knocking so hard." I'm like, what? We're still in the driveway. We haven't moved. She always scheming. Timing was off. So today we're going to talk about timing, proper timing, and understanding timing as a factor. So, yes, Sean Anthony is graduating uh, this this coming week, and I am so happy for Sean Anthony. He's finally getting into the idea of graduating, and he just turned 18. And 18 is grown. 18 grown. You're a grown man now. So I'm happy for Sean Anthony to be here. And if everyone wants to wish Sean Anthony congratulations and send him things, that'll be great. What James say? You better cut it out before Marsha get in here. Marsha, I'm the oldest. I'm the big sister, so I ain't got nothing to be scared of. Marsha, she know it's true. Now, her and her husband know it's true. They be treat that. I think that what they do is um they get together and they make a plot before we even get there because we'll tell them we're coming. And then as soon as we get there, they're on one accord. I got to give them that. They on one accord. We broke. I didn't touch anything. Sean Anthony, Eddie is saying Sean Anthony graduates on the 27th of next week. So please, and I think we might get them to go live. I think we might get them to go live so people can see. There will also be a virtual viewing of Sean Anthony's graduation. To that because we did not get a lot of tickets, a lot of the information we didn't even get until like now, and we're still getting new information. It's ridiculous. I don't agree with the traditional school system. Um, like with a whole lot of the things they do, it's just unprofessional. It's rather tacky, and that is the traditional public K through 12 system, actually pre-K through 12. But that's a subject for another day because I'm not bashing it. I just don't agree with a lot of the things that they're doing. And I have a dissertation that I'm writing, and I don't want to give too much information about it before I'm finished writing it because it's still in the making. So that's why a lot of times I'm not online. I have a lot of stuff that I'm juggling, and it's not to say that, I'm not interested and I'm uninvolved. A lot of the things I'm doing is in the background, mainly because this whole hair battle. Can you see it? Do you see that? You see what I'm putting out with? Oh wait, I'm not even outside and the rain is like got to my hair like, oh, it's raining. You ain't even outside here. You're not even outside. See, that's when you know you got some jacked up hair and you in a battle with your hair when you have to be outside for your hair to be jacked up because it's raining. Like, really? Really though? Hair be doing too much. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hair be doing too much. But last week I was talking about self-soothing and I was using some examples. A lot of people were saying things like they were trying to understand redirecting um, things that they don't like. And a lot of times I use examples of my family and how I do because I don't like to put people on blast with whatever they're doing. So I'm put it like this. Um, my father likes to fuss, 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 fuss. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm not trying to be fussing with this old man. What is going on? So we found something that he can argue, fuss, and cuss, and holler and scream. And I holler and scream and hoopla with him. Football. See, you see how we do that? So you don't have to. You can want to work with somebody like that, but you redirect that energy to something more productive, more positive, something that's like, okay, that's good energy for what exactly? And when you find that, hey, Taisha, happy to see you, honey. So you can redirect that because that's somebody that you have to deal with. That's your parent. You don't have to deal with a whole lot of people. And just because they're your parent doesn't mean you have to deal with them. You could deal with them from a distance. You could deal with a lot of people from a distance in everybody's face every day, all day. A part of self-soothing is understanding your boundaries and not letting you violate your boundaries by allowing others to, you know, throw you off of your ability to self-soothe. So if it's disturbing to you, one is argumentative, somebody's cussing all the time, or whatever the problem is, you have to understand when to allow yourself permission. You're not asking anybody else. And that's why last week the understanding of the teddy bear. So the teddy bear teaches you to self-soothe because it's redirecting all that energy where you're looking for other people to validate you, give you permission. What did James say? What did Tim say? Uh-oh. I think we froze. I always deal with people from a distance or just tune them out. Yeah, a lot of people deal with other people by tuning them out. Even still, they're still there. Tasha said, "Be you." Yeah, be you. But you also have to understand that's to this amount that you done They just want they to be in the vicinity. Yeah, you want your woman to be in the vicinity because she's positive. Even if she's angry, she's adding something positive. She's contributing something positive to the environment. But when you tuning somebody out, your environment, and that energy is still in your environment, and there lies the problem. Because you can be in the environment of this guy, and he could suck up all the energy, all the positive energy in the room just by his presence alone, even though you have tuned him out, which does prohibit you just a bit, if not completely. It drains you. It prohibits you from being able to self-soothe, because you're doing it a lot, and it's like, oh, I'm trying so hard to hold my peace, to bridle my tongue, to not say something to somebody, while I because this person is in the vicinity. He may be in the background, he may be just off you, but they're in the vicinity, and they're there. So you have to feel the permission that you give yourself, because mentally, this thing right here puts you in a mental headspace where you can self-soothe. A lot of people say they want to hold on to a teddy bear, but they grabbing onto their pillow real tight. Okay, they up under their blankets or whatever real tight. It's the same thing. Linus in the Charlie Brown series, he blanket that he would take with them all the time. It's just one of those things I was talking about in the last show, where people have a talisman. You can have a necklace, and that makes you feel like, because it's a cross, you have the rosary beads, whatever it is that you put in your energy in to say, this is a symbol of what this is for me. And a lot of times when someone says something, it's not necessarily what you think it is. You have to be really careful to look at what they're saying. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for joining. Happy you're here. Um, Spread all the answers for this is why I let go. This is when I'm going to the teddy bear, for example. When I had the teddy bear, I don't know. Sorry. I said it's a storm going on, so you guys got to be patient with me and work through the little things that's going on with the freezing. But the objective is to learn when you need to let go. It's not about asking somebody else when they should let go, or whatever they feel their tolerance level is, because everybody's tolerance level is not the same. That's why you can't you can't get with this guy. It has to be another owl that gets with this guy. No matter the glamour, the glitz, and how much money this person has, and no matter how slick they are with their verbiage or whatever it is that's appealing about them, you have to let that go, because your tolerance level is different to be with that person than to be with somebody that's more like this one. So somebody, if you feel like, oh, this teddy bear is cuddly, this teddy bear is dependable, is reliable, it never lets me down, then you're looking for somebody like that. If But if this person is somebody who's like, oh, that person's just temporary, and that's the kind of thing I'm looking for right now because I'm not looking for anything permanent, and it's good that person will fly the coop because I got too much on my plate to be dealing with someone who is constantly needy and clingy and want to be around too much and always want to talk good morning, good night, and all that text messaging, and I ain't got time for it. That's your tolerance level. So you have to understand that that's not somebody you can tolerate. So you have to understand that that's what you have to let go if that person is too clingy or whatever. You can't ask somebody else, well, man, this person is just, oh, I just can't deal with it. Keyword. I just can't deal with it. That's you. So you have to understand, let go, and then soothe yourself that that's the best decision for you and nobody else can give you that. Why do I say things like find a counselor or someone who's qualified and educated in this field in order for them to advise you? Because those people already have an understanding of how to guide you into being able to self-soothe and being able to recognize when it's good for you to let go of things that's not good for you. Your friends will be like, girl, don't let that one go. He the cream of the crop. Look at how shiny he is. Look at how he do this. He doing all this. Girl, they'll talk you right into your grave because you can't deal with that one. That's not the one for you, no matter how tantalizing that person is, no matter how often your girlfriends or even guys say, yeah, he a good dude. You have to understand your level of tolerance. And then you have to be able to soothe yourself with your decision. You can't keep changing yourself for every one of these flashy characters that come around because you want to be with that person or you want to increase your tolerance level because it deteriorates your ability to self-soothe. And when you lack the ability to self-soothe and you don't know how to get the proper help, you end up in dark spaces that was avoidable. And the objective is to self identify when you should let things go, how to self soothe, and how to keep yourself in a positive mental state so that we don't end up in dark places. Because a lot of times people are giving out these inspirational quotes, these inspirational videos, and these videos that's helping people when they know that they're in a dark space or when they know they need motivational encouragement. But what about the times when people don't exhibit that they need this? What about the times when somebody's so strong and reliable and dependable and they your strength, they pouring in? What about when they're not exhibiting that they need that same kind of love in return? What about them? So you have to understand that be able to because you're not educated in that field, in that area to be able to know. So no one's holding you accountable for not knowing. But that's why this is important because a lot of times we see, man, I wasn't even expecting that person to be crazy. They for some reason they was cool, and all of a sudden they not cool. Something wrong. They just snapped. Nobody saw it coming. That they just went off the edge. That's why it's important for everybody to be more vigilant with understanding when people are around and they're in a situation that's above their tolerance level. Matthew says, if a relationship doesn't seem like it's going well, do not try to make it well. That's good advice, Matthew. But a lot of people say that they're trying to make a relationship work. So when do you how do you tell the difference between a relationship that's good for you and you're trying to work through the troubles as opposed to a relationship that's toxic for you and you need to let it go? That's why you have counselors that are educated in this so that you can ask these type of questions. And I'm here if you want to ask the question, but you have to also understand that when you ask the question, I need more depth. So I believe Ty Strong was asking some questions, and I had to give a general answer because I don't have the back and forth with him to answer the question properly. And I don't want to be held accountable for half answering a question when I could do better. Okay, because there's a difference between someone who's educated to do this and someone who is not. Okay, Matthew says the difference between an abusive relationship and a good relationship. All right. Yeah, it is hard to see the difference. So again, that's why you have to understand the difference between what your tolerance level is compared to the people you talking to and giving you advice about how to do all these things. So at the fundamental level, you need to understand how to self-soothe. Now you could redirect all your negative energy to, like Ty was saying in the last episode, punching a punching bag. You could do that. That's exerting the energy, that's getting it all off your chest, but you still need to self-soothe. And a lot of people, they find, even if you're not going to call it because you're an atheist or whatever your non-faith is, but you will find peace in getting alone and just with your thoughts alone and looking into your inner man to see what is bothering me, what's really wrong with me. The reason why a lot of people find um, in spirituality they find it self-soothing because they can hear when they're asking these questions when they're alone. They can hear something answering back. They can feel themselves being pulled towards the answer, even though they knew in their mind they didn't have the answer, and they attribute that to the caring for them, that you made me. I have these problems. I'm by myself. I'm reaching out to you to know, what do I do now? Where do I go now? I know I wasn't created for absolutely no purpose at all. What do I do from here? Where do I go from here? But for those who don't have a faith or any belief in a spirituality where there is a greater purpose for your life and for the things that you could be doing with your time, those people might look for this guy. I highly recommend them because no matter what it is, your faith is or non faith, everybody has a teddy bear. But what you don't want to do is reach out to other people who may gaslight you for their own purposes, who may put you into a place where um, you are in a dark space and they can't help you out of it because they don't even know how you got in it. Because if somebody's gaslighting you and you're not recognizing it, then those same people definitely can't help you out of that darkness that they helped you to get into or forced you to get into. So what you have to understand is ways to self-soothe are only beneficial to you. It benefits no one else. And the only way that you can do that is you have to deem yourself worthy. You have to deem yourself uh, somebody who's worth being valued. And a lot of people, they have they've studied different faiths and they have reached a transcendence where they're like, that makes sense. And if you haven't come to that particular understanding, that's okay, because you can still get where you need to be, because just because you don't feel it the same way someone else does, it's just that wasn't good for you, that wasn't the right path for you. And a lot of times the reason why I mentioned Siddhartha, the Buddhist king, is because he felt the same way. It's not new. It's not new. It's just different for you because you're a new player to an old game. So what Siddhartha did was he was supposed to go one way, and that way didn't suit him. So it's like in the American faith, a lot of people say, well, you were born in a Muslim family, you have to be a Muslim. You were born in a Christian family, you have to study in the Christian way. And Siddhartha was like, I know I was born into this particular way. Even Jesus was born into the Judaism faith, I believe. Is that right, Eddie? Jesus was supposed to be studying Judaism. And Jesus was like, every time Joseph, his earthly father, looks for him, he out somewhere else. What was he doing? He was studying to show himself approved. And he was not about just one orthodox way of learning. He used different things, different understandings. He studied. He didn't just say, oh, he particular orthodox manner, but he also ventured out to understand other things. There's nothing wrong with that because every faith shows you, every positive faith shows you, you need to study some other things in order to find yourself. And in that, you'll be able to self soothe. Even if you come to the understanding that, well, I don't believe the way other people believe, so I must not have a faith at all. I don't believe the way other people believe, so I'm never going to get out of this dark space. I don't do the things that other people do, so I'm never going to fit in. I'm never going to belong. Those are not truths. Those are things that's going to help you to understand you got to keep searching. You got to keep searching, keep looking because it's out there. And it's not just in some person, it's within yourself. Get alone, quiet, and just talk inside, inwardly to yourself, not out loud, inwardly to yourself all the time until you get to a place where you can talk to someone without them controlling or manipulating your behavior, your decisions. That's what we mean by self soothing because you don't need someone to tell you when to be comfortable. You don't need somebody to tell you, oh, you have my permission to be all right today. And that's why some people talk to God, and that's how they talk to Him. And talk to God every day, Matthew says. And a lot of times people say, "Oh, I'm." People tell me I talk to myself, but I'm in good company because I'm the only one I can trust. But if you think about it, even though you're alone, you're not alone because there is something. You'll hear something. I guarantee. You will hear something. You'll feel something, and it's like, man, I never felt that before. I never thought about that way. And if you put on inspirational music such as gospel music or what is it, Christian music or positive faith music, okay? Because these types of music genre are created from people who have reached some sort of transcendence in their life, and that helps to bring in usher in that sort of environment, that sort of vibes, that sort of energy, so you can open yourself up to receiving all that positive energy so that you can self-soothe and so that you can reach that transcendence level so that you can reach a better state of mind, a more clear, less confused state of mind. Now, why is that important? Because gaslighting is out here thick. Everybody's in it. Everybody's drinking their problems away. Everybody's smoking their problems away. Everybody is doing some sort of negative thing that can cause a negative reaction or outcome in order to appease something that's happening negative to them. And that's what's leading people into a dark place because you can't use a negative and get a positive. Maybe in math, but even math is confusing. How do I have two negatives and I get a positive? So you have to understand that when you trying to get some positivity going in, when you trying to get your mind to be in the right space in the light, you can't sit there and listen to a bunch of people talking about, music that's playing and calling women out their name, talking about how you're going to shoot them up, kill them up, and go rob people and all this negative stuff. That's why you can't get out of those negative head spaces and that dark mentality. You're not ushering in the right type of energy. You're not opening up the space for the right type of energy. You have all this dark stuff going on. You have to get along. You have to get a lot of positive energy going around you with this positive spiritual music. And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't listen to that genre of music. I don't want to hear that genre of music. But have you ever heard a love song and you was like, I don't really like love songs, but you heard a love song and you're like, suddenly, man, that's the one love song I listen to. I listen to that love song. That love song was awesome. I play that for anybody I'm in love with. Now I'm in the mood for love. I'm in the mood to be in love with somebody, and you pick whoever is available, and now you in love with that person because it ushered in the feeling, the energy of being in love. So a lot of times people say, well, I don't like watching movies that's all lovey-dovey and our relationship and whatnot. But then you looking for a relationship and you like, You don't know how to get into a positive relationship. You're not watching it. You're not ushering in that type of energy in order for you to be in that mood. You got to set it up. Now, back in the day when I was young, growing up, the way a guy would get a girl in the mood was he play some music, some getting in the mood music, and you can't get in the mood with some music that's just tearing you down, that's ushering in the wrong energy, all the negative energies that you're having around. You're not gonna put on some you know, some Black Panty album from R. Kelly for nobody at church. You in church or you in school and it's time for studying, but you in the background, you got R. Kelly Black Penny album running. You are not thinking about no academics. You're not doing it. You, but if you're sitting there playing John Jingleheimer Smith in the background, now we in the mood for learning. Why? Because that's an elementary type of energy that you ushering in, so that yeah, you now you getting into the mentality of learning and that song that never ends. I forget the name of that song, but that's the kind of thing that you do. What is it? God, what you hear that? What you, yeah, God, what and the reason why a lot of positive faiths tell people to guard what they hear and guard what they see and guard what they say so they can protect their heart. Because you don't want that negative energy to break your heart. Because if you get a broken heart and you don't know how to self-soothe and you haven't found the ability to transcend, so you could end up in a dark place and you'll think you hit rock bottom and then you'll go to another level of low that was avoidable because you have to understand you hit rock bottom, but there's another level of low. So you have to, try a little harder because rock bottom ain't rock bottom. Rock bottom is the next level of down and down and down and down. But when you find yourself in a situation where you can't get yourself out and you get alone and you ushering in the positive energy, guess what happens? Positive things come to you. Positive things come to you. And it's not by coincidence. That was something there that was reaching inside of you that was already there. It's already inside of us all because that was a part of our whole man, mind, body, and soul. And it's not to say that because you don't believe in a spiritual belief, it's not to say that it's not true that you don't believe it because you are mind, body, and soul. Therefore, soul was created from something. The soul needs to eat food. You can't deprive the soul just like you can't deprive, you can't eat all water and think you don't have to eat any food. You can't say, well, okay, I'll work out my upper muscle, but you never work out your lower muscle. You have to feed the whole man. So just like um you feeling you missing something and you can't get, it's because you are mind, body, and spirit, and you have to nourish that spirit somehow. And just because you haven't found the ability to find that sort of peace and that transcendence level from the route that you've been traveling, it doesn't mean stop looking. It means keep looking so that you can what Matthew say, don't starve your soul. Yeah, don't starve your soul and think that you in this dark space for no reason and there's no way that you understand how you got there. You starving your soul. You starving your spirit. It needs to eat and it's dying and you're trying to figure out, well, I'm so happy about everything. What's missing? There we go. And then you're like, well, I'm self-soothing, but there's something missing. There you go. If you missed it, rewind until it hits you. And then you'll come to understand that was what was missing. Now, I'm not saying go and be a Buddhist. I'm not saying go be a Muslim or a Christian. I'm saying study to find what's good for you. Study so you can figure it out what you need to do because I don't like titles. I do not like titles. I don't like titles like Christianity, Muslim, Hindu, Taoism, and Confucianism. I don't like that they say, well, you got to study in this orthodox manner. I don't like that sort of thing it limits you and it restricts you and it like you're betraying one for the other. And that's none of those things are true. None of those things are true. What did Matthew say? There isn't anything that God can't provide. That's right. It's not anything that and that's a good point, Matthew. That's a very good point. A lot of people a lot of times they are looking for someone that could provide for them. That's a, that's a lot of times because the hierarchy of human needs, that need to belong. Okay, and people have a need to belong to something and somewhere, and you feel like you betrayed that because it didn't fulfill you like you needed to be fulfilled because your tolerance level is different. There's no panacea. Jesus didn't come here and say, "Oh, I come to give you Christianity." He did not say that. Siddhartha, he didn't say, "Oh, I came to change the way the orthodox manner of Buddhism." Um, Nobody is trying to control what you do and how you get to where you're going. Everybody's journey is different, and it's not a betrayal. It is that's what's your way. And then when you get together in like a church, a synagogue, or a spiritual group, meeting, then you're sharing. Okay, you're sharing your testimony of what worked for you. You're sharing your testimony of how you made it through the things that you were going through. Personally, there's a lot of people out here that don't like to talk about the things they're going through while they're going through it, but they'll tell it all in great detail once it's all over. That's like, yes, that's what I do. I may tell a little bit, so I get the help I need to get through what I need to get through for next level, this next step, and I'll get it all. I'll ask a million questions so I can get everything at one time so I can piece it all together so I can do what I need to do. But while I'm going through it, I'm not talking to nobody about what I'm going through permission from somebody else to get where I'm going in my life. So what did Matthew say? By the way, I'm kind of treated Jesus. Yeah. It's like, but you know what? Even though a lot of people are angry with the way Jesus was treated, a lot of people are angry with the way Siddhartha was treated. A lot of people are angry with change. Okay, it's not necessarily the person, more so it is the representative, or they're a token, not necessarily a talisman, but a token. These are tokens of things that um, are associated with this type of thing. And that's what they're angry at. They're angry because Jesus came and he changed some things. They're angry with Siddhartha because he came in and he changed some things. And they developed all these other types of paths of positive faith. But they think about it. They developed it based on what they were able to tolerate, what was good for them, and the way they wanted things to go, and the way they feel that everybody should go. So if somebody can come in and make these changes and tell you how to do what you need to do, why is it that you can't go and figure out things for yourself? Why can't you figure out how to make yourself, how to soothe yourself? Because you're looking for permission from other people. Jesus didn't look for permission from nobody. Siddhartha didn't look for permission from nobody. You have to stop looking for permission from people to do what's good for you, to do what's right for you, and stop looking for a blanket of coverage that makes everything okay because it's okay for everybody. That's not true. It's not true for everybody. What's good for you is good for you, and if it's not good for you, you need to make the changes. Somebody say, "Oh well, I do it this way. I cook this chicken this way." Somebody put some chicken on social media, and they use some soap, some liquid cleaning soap, and wash the chicken off. And then I don't know if they rinsed it well, but they then start to prepare it for cooking and then served it. That may work for some people. I wouldn't want to eat it. I'm just saying. I remember when I was first introduced to the aquarium hobby, I thought that I had to clean the aquarium, and I, my idea of clean, you need some soap. So yes, I took some Dawn liquid soap. I took the level of the water down to 50% like I was supposed to. Maybe I took it to 25 because I took the fish out of the aquarium. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that. I took the fish out of the aquarium, put it into the mop bucket. The mop bucket was clean. I put it into the mop bucket of water and I cleaned the aquarium with some Dawn soap and I cleaned the glass. If you've ever been to my apartment and I had my aquarium in my room and you wonder why you couldn't smell anything, it's because I cleaned it with some Dawn liquid soap and I didn't know you wasn't supposed to do that. The fish didn't die. They never died. What'd you say? That's why you can't eat over everybody's house. Yeah, you can't eat over everybody's house. And a lot of times we don't know. Sorry, no problem, Matthew. So look, one person's way of cleaning something is not going to be good for everybody. When someone heard that I did that with the fish, they was like, "Did your fish die? Did it survive?" And all these questions. They had all these questions, and I didn't understand why are you asking me all these questions. I did what I was supposed to do. I, no, I did what was right for me. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. They said, "Well, you're supposed to just, take a little scrub brush and bring it up and down against the glass, and you don't add no soap." I said, "That's not cleaning. Well, how you cleaning? You don't have no soap." Oh my God. Somebody out there is an aquarium hobbyist and they are dying and cringing all at the same time just watching this. But I just want to say that's a disclaimer. The fish did not die. They were alive. They were healthy. They thrived. And once I got involved with my husband to the level that we were going to get married, um, I gave those fish, they were healthy and strong. I gave it to someone else and they lived a very long time and very happy life. And one time the fish jumped out of the aquarium. I guess because he was accustomed to thinking he could, I guess because I was taking him out. And I didn't want to touch the fish. I'm squeamish. I didn't want to touch it. And he jumped out of the aquarium onto my carpet and started to pick up the lint off the carpet all over his body. I'm like, Lord, this fish is about to die. Oh Lord. So I picked the fish up with both my hands and put it in the water, and that by itself was a miracle. So if you don't believe in God, believe in him now, because I tell you, I touched it. And he lives. He was out of that tank for a long time. And he picked up so much of that carpet, it was ridiculous. And I was afraid he was gonna die, but I promise you I prayed. Yes, I prayed for my fish. And the fish was okay. And every time anybody would come in my room, he was like guard dog. He charged the aquarium. But the point of the matter is, it's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. I don't do it anymore. I wouldn't do it now. I don't know if I would. I wouldn't. I don't think that I would do it now. But Dawn is a good soap. You clean birds off. The tar that they collect and get stuck in. You clean them with some Dawn liquid soap, and they'll be all right. So maybe it's good for your fish tank, maybe it's not. But I wouldn't recommend it. When they say clean, you gotta ask for the definition of what they mean by clean. So when I use a word, I always try to explain what do I mean by using this word. So you will understand that I don't mean what you may think I mean. And that's why I always encourage people to ask questions. And that's why I tell people, I ask questions, well, what do you mean by that? So that I don't have a misconception. And especially now, since it could have cost me all of my fish, I have to ask people, what do you mean by that? Well, what do you mean? So if any ambiguity to it, if it's not clear exactly what they're saying, I do not want to be mistaken again because I could have lost all my fish. So you learn some lessons the hard way. And a hard way you want to understand something. If that's the way you learn, that's the way you learn. That's good for you. Then it's good for you, but it's not everybody's path. You can't just go yanking people up by the collar because it worked for somebody else when you yank them up by the collar and tell them, oh, well, this is the way people learn. No, that's not the way people learn because it doesn't work for everybody. That's a way for that person to stop fooling with you anymore. Mm-hmm. What's the formula for that? It's not the same for everybody. It is not the same for everybody. For example, some people in large households. If you come from a large household, you know this, you've seen this. You can't deal with all the kids the same way. Each one has their own personality, different tolerance levels, and different methods of reaching that person in order for that person to understand what you understand and the kind of relationship that you would like to have with this person. They're not going to necessarily have the words to tell you. You have to learn by trial. And if you snatch this one kid up, now that kid isn't going to be bothered with you anymore. You know you did the wrong thing. But if you snatch a different kid up in the same manner and suddenly that kid understood, yep, I'm not gonna fool with you like that no more. And every time you come around or every time you tell me something, I'm gonna listen to what you say. But that doesn't work with everybody. That doesn't work with everybody. And you have to understand you need to adjust to whatever it is that's with for that person. So if you're in a relationship and you're like, well, this relationship should work because this is the same thing I did with that person and it was successful with that person. Yeah, this the way I behaved at my last job and I got a promotion. It doesn't work. It is no blanket uh cure all that can tell you how you're supposed to be in every instance, in every situation, dealing with everybody. It just doesn't work. So why would your ability to self-soothe work like that? Why would your ability to understand how to transcend into the level of spirituality that feeds your spirit, why would it be the same as it is for anyone else? Because it's an orthodox manner? No. You go to school. Everybody has to go to school in America up to a certain age. You go to school and you learn something. Even if you say you're going to homeschool or unschool or whatever, everybody's expected to learn to a certain level. Everybody cannot learn the same way. So there is a expectancy. There's an expectancy, but there's no one route to get to that level of expectancy. So you can't always depend on what was good for somebody else is going to be good for you. A lot of people they're in a relationship and they say whatever's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's not true either because somebody might be out there cheating. And that's what that refers to. If you out here cheating and it's good for you, well, it's gonna be good for me because I'm a cheat too. That's not necessarily the case because you could tolerate it to a different extent that that person can. You cheat on that person like they cheat on you. Suddenly they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore because they can't trust you. And you looking like, what? You got to be gaslighting me. I'm the one can't trust you. But you knew that. See, they didn't. They thought they could trust you no matter what they do. And unless you set that boundary already in place, guess what's going to happen? They're going to do what they're going to do. So if you already come into it and you say, well, look, I'm going to tell you, you could trust me for as long as I can trust you. And the moment my trust is broken, I'm going to let you know. So you will understand already you can't trust me. So don't use it. Don't use it lightly. Don't use it lightly because once you open that can of worms, you can't undo that. Hey, Sister Regina. Yes, my sister, you can't deal with everyone the same level. Yes. And a lot of people, they don't understand why they get fired from a job and they were acting the same way as they were with another job. They can't understand why you, the job that you was with is the relationship you were in because it's a job. I'm just saying. You can't understand it. Why is it I'm acting this way with her? It was good for that last girl. It was good for her. She might not have had no class. The one you with now probably have a lot of class, and she's just gonna go for it. And you thinking that she's supposed to because the last one did. That's not what Eddie say. It's messed up. Yes, it's messed up generations, and it's continued to mess up a lot of things because people have normalized tit for tat what's good for these goose and gander games and oh if you go looking for something you're gonna find it. Let's deal with that one right there. I have a low tolerance level for that sort of thing. Why? Because that's not true. A lot of things that we normalize that's not true lands a lot of people in places where they think they're going to be slick enough to get away with some BS that they're not going to get away with. And they lose big because now the person that was most valuable to you, you lost them because some stupidity that you decided to believe that wasn't true. What's that truth? You go looking for something, you going to find it. No, any right now today, I promise you, you can look through any one of my methods of communication through. I only have one cell phone. You can look through it as you go back as far as any date. my records, and you could go on my inbox and anything that you think that I could be hiding, and you could look to see if she trying to get with somebody that she shouldn't be with. You could go look for it, but you won't find it. You won't find it because I'm always going to be who I am. And I'm not going to lead anybody on. So if I'm in a relationship with somebody, you're not going to go looking for me cheating and it's there. You're not. So don't go around saying you're going to look for something and you're going to find it. No, you're going to find it if it's there. You're going to find it if it's there. And I'm not talking about, oh, because you deleted the message, you deleted this, and you lying, y'all covering it up or something. No, because everything that's done in the dark gonna come to the light because it has an objective. The objective is to show flaws in you where nobody could trust you. They don't want, they shouldn't trust you. And even if they feel like, okay, well, she tells the occasional white lie or he tells the occasional white lie, we can still deal with it. A business will say, oh, well, they stole little minor, pens and paper, no big deal. The company will still, keep that person on the retainer or pay them or whatever the case is. But they watching you. You don't notice. Why? Because now they see you. They see you and they understand you are not trustworthy. So what they're also doing is looking for the next best thing to replace you. Because that's what they do. When you can't trust someone, you're not going to stick around and wait for the problem to be out of control before you say, okay, you got to go. Sorry, bye. You don't need no more explanation than that. A lot of classy women, they're not going to tell a guy in long, drawn out explanation after they sat there for years trying to work on the relationship and sit there and coddle him as to why they get ready to leave him for good now. And he's going to think, oh, well, we worked it out all them times. Yeah, those were your chances. This the final straw. We're done. Don't talk to me no more. And he can't get it out of his mind. Well, why is this time different? Well, because everybody has a tolerance level. You've exceeded that. So if somebody says, even with a job, somebody says, well, strike one warning, this was your warning, you're on notice, school, you're on probation, whatever it is, you get it together if that's what you want. And if that's not what you want, then you won't get it together and you won't make them believe that you're going to get it together. So there's no reason for anybody to think that y'all gonna get along in order for this to be something that you could collaborate on together to achieve this one goal. No one's doing that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I I've never broken up with a guy and then got back with him, e- except for Eddie. But he broke up with me, and I don't know why I got back with him. But ended up in marriage. I'm not. That's an anomaly. We'll just put that down in the books as an anomaly because not everybody had that ability. Hold on. I guess I do this. So anyway, I had to sneeze. But anyway, so if you're sitting there thinking that you can get away with something that you got away with someone else because you did it with that person, it wasn't your ability to be slick. I know, right, Regina? I had to sneeze. Anyway, so I was like, um, this one this one time, somebody was like, "Oh, well, you should give everybody a chance." Give them a chance at what? With my emotions, my heart, my feelings, my time. I don't have to do nothing. You don't understand. Just because you're a good person don't mean just because it's a good job off doesn't mean I should go for it. Oh, you're well qualified. You're even overqualified. It doesn't mean I'm gonna apply for the position. Oh, it pays well. That may not be my motivation. You being a nice guy, you being a nice girl, that may not be that person's motivation for being with you, and it doesn't take anything from you. It doesn't discredit you in any way. I would not sneeze on that. Shut up. You would sneeze on a bear. Shut up. Anyway, I didn't sneeze though. See, that was crazy. I don't know what it was about. But anyway, I guess I couldn't sneeze in his face. Psychologically, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if he was turned this way, I would be able to do it. But I couldn't do it with it this way. It's like, that's rude. So it just went away. But that's just who I am. I'm crazy mentally. It's like, okay, I'm constantly thinking about things. And it's like, yeah, I'm crazy hilarious. Y'all just don't know. I'm just crazy hilarious like that. But anyway, it's not something I practice it. It just happens. So sorry. You just got into my world just a little bit. Just a little bit. The craziness that is me. Uh, but it's hilarious. I keep myself rolling and I try not to get distracted or sidetracked. But anyway, so I was saying, if people are saying, well, it should be this way, they're looking for a panacea for everything. There is none. It is about you. If this works for you, it works for you. If it works for them, that's good. It works for them. You could take what they're telling you with a grain of salt and try it, but don't hold on to it if it's not for you. You got to learn when to let things go. And that's a part of successfully self-soothing. You know you have been able to successfully self-soothe if you can be able to let something go that you really wanted to hold on to and you're okay with it. You're okay. And that's one thing we all have to understand, that just because we let something go, it doesn't mean that just because I let this guy fly the coop, that this guy isn't gonna come along, or even a bigger one, a bigger one. There's a meme out there where this little child has a tiny little teddy bear, not as big as this one, a tiny little teddy bear, and it's a the child can see Jesus, and Jesus has this kind of size teddy bear behind his back as he's holding out his hand, asking the child to trust him to give him that little teddy bear. But the child can't see this teddy bear behind Jesus' back. So that's the visual. You have to trust that even if you let something go that's not for you, something that is for you is going to come to you when that space is not being occupied by that thing that is negative for you. So if it's negative for you, you have to let it go. When do you know when to let it go? How do you know when something's so toxic that you got to let it go that it's not going to work out? Ah, if you come to the show, you ask the questions, then I'm going to ask you a few questions. You ask me the questions, I'll answer it. I'll answer it. But you have to understand, when you go to see someone who specializes in these things, you have to understand they're going to give you the answer according to the information you provide. So if you give somebody some sort of false information and they give you an answer based on what you told them, they if that answer is wrong, you have to examine yourself. Where did you not trust them, that you gave them the wrong information that led you to them giving you this bad advice? Because they're qualified to give you this advice and it's based upon your answers. So if I ask you, um, well, why are you trying to get out of this relationship? Why would you think that this is not a relationship for you? Why would you think that this is not the right job position for you? Why? And then you tell me, well, it's not paying enough, but that's not really the answer. Or, well, he don't have a job, and that's not really the answer. It's a part of the problem. You understand now? It may be a part of the problem, but it's not the reason why you want to get out. It's not the reason you want to get out. The reason you want to get out is a collaborative effort of something going wrong, a bunch of negative stuff that's going on. And it's like, oh, this just doesn't agree with my whole man. It's rubbing me the wrong way out my whole man, not just spiritually, not just physically, not just mentally, but all the above. It's time to get out, whatever that is, whether it's your job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's even a relationship with someone in your family that you just have to have a relationship with. It's time for you to be distant from that person. And, what does that mean? Distant means you're not in that person's face every day. You are not allowing them to be in your face every day. You may talk to them once a month, 3 times a year, holidays only. You're distancing yourself from these toxic people because they're draining you, because they're rubbing your entire man the wrong way. That's just a general answer, but everybody again is different. And a lot of people cannot recognize when it's rubbing your entire whole man the wrong way. And by the time that realization hits them, it's too late because so much damage has been done that you can't get out of it, or somebody caused you so much harm that you're no longer here. They done shrunk the population by one. You. So what you need to understand is, when you see this show and you want to ask a question, ask the question. It's free. But understand, where the answer came from, especially when you go and you pay for the services. Understand where these answers are coming from. These answers are coming on you by way of the way you are responding and the answers you're giving. So when you have someone that's trying to help you, be as honest as you can because you sought them out for answers. So be as honest as you can so they can help you. They're not trying to tell you what to do. They are helping guide you through whatever it is you need to get through. And they're like a professional sounding board so that you could get out of where you don't want to be and get to where you want to be. So that's my time for today. I'm so sorry about the freezing that went on. Like I said earlier, we have inclement weather, but I would like it if you would subscribe, like, and share because you know what it do. And I would like to continue to get this positive perspective out here and improve the mental health of all the people around us because you never know when you're going to be in a shopping mall. You never know when you are going to be at a school as or a social a place where there's more than just you, and you want to feel safe. You don't want it to be that somebody is on the brink, and that was the last straw, and now something bad is happening, and everybody's scattering and running. So let's try to turn that around one show at a time by you asking questions and you sharing these episodes so they help people, and especially those people who are out here already as influencers. Let's get them, tag them, share it to them so they'll understand what you're doing with your platform, what your voice is doing out here. So let's share, like, and subscribe. Let's make this concept viral so that we can turn some things around because I'm tired of watching the news or hearing an alert that says shelter in place, run and hide, and all these other things. Y'all, we got to do better. We got to do better. So please like, subscribe, and share, and let's keep this going. It was all good. Okay. Always pray to God you'll see another day alone with your loved ones. That's true. Always pray that you'll be able to do that because in this world, it's just unpredictable. And why is that? Because there's a lot of people that are in dark spaces mentally. Okay. So like, share, subscribe, and go back and look at those other videos that I put out there that are self-help starters. Okay. I appreciate you all's time. See you next time. And yes, I'll be bringing back those prompts and more. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Y'all ain't ready. I'm getting you ready though. I'm getting you ready. So stay tuned.